Hey, deserving listeners, 90 Day Fiancé. Let's check it out.
Will you do that for me?
No, just I'm tired.
Honey, see, like, for example, what they're doing, baby? That would mean a lot to me.
Okay, you want to do this?
Yeah, I want to do that.
What? Oh.
Okay, maybe this is a playful, fun thing. I hope so. That's what Ari is asking for. So Ari and Benny are with Stacy and Florian, and Stacy got on Florian's back, and then Ari is trying to tell Benny that I would like to improve our relationship by there being more goodwill, love, affection, this kind of thing. And she says, see what they're doing right now. And then he's like, oh, I'm tired. Yeah. Even when I was tip-top shape when I was younger, carrying a backpack and someone on a hike up a hill, I mean, that, it's going to, why? But yeah, so maybe just like for a few steps. And it's like, okay, we've touched each other. This is fun. So, maybe this is going to work.
Weigh like 50 kilos. You can handle. I'm sideways, baby. I'm sideways. I'm sideways.
No, get down. The stone is poking me. No, the stone is behind the stone.
Okay, let's fix it. Okay, come on.
Right, so the stone is jabbing in the back. And yeah, I mean, if you're going to carry someone on your back, I would put the backpack in the front or have the, anyway.
Try it again.
Okay, let's go, come in.
No, I'll put the backpack on.
It's fine,
no,
it's fine.
I'm not going to continue. Give me the backpack.
I don't want to do that, but I'm just tired, just we're walking.
No, this is what I'm talking.
Wait, am I missing the thread here? So she's now angry at him for not letting her ride on his back on a hike. She's saying, I must be missing something.
It's poking me. No, the stone is behind the stone.
Okay, let's fix it. Okay, come on. Let's try it again.
Okay, let's go.
So she says, okay, let's fix it. Let's try it again. And he's like, no. I mean, he didn't want to do it in the first place, which, hold hands. How about that? There's a lot of other options. And she's like, eventually, okay, I'll wear the backpack. Yeah, that would be the way to go. And, maybe in her mind, she's thinking that if we can make this work, this would be really nice. There's affection, it's fun, it can make him feel manly. Maybe that helps. I say that as someone that plays that game, not game, but when Stacy asked me to open a jar, like I'm not gonna tell you that I don't get a little bit of machismo pleasure from that, and unless I can't open the jar, and then it's just like fail, right? But anyway, so maybe there's something she's thinking along those lines.
Let's go, come in.
No, I'll put the backpack on.
It's fine, it's
no,
fine.
I'm not going to continue. Give me the backpack.
I don't want to do that.
I'm not going to continue. So now, what? I wonder what the therapist will have to say about this one.
I'm just tired, just we're walking.
No, this is what I'm talking about. This is ridiculous.
So this is what she was talking about earlier when she was telling him that she wants more love and affection from him. This is what she is referring to, where she rides on him, makes him carry her, even on a hike. If it was like across the living room or on a sidewalk or something, because, it's harder. You could absolutely, a twist an ankle, just normal hiking, let alone, you could drop. Anyway, so you're carrying rocks, both of you. I'm not going to continue. This is what I was talking about earlier. If this was what you were talking about, I understand why he's resisting that, because this is what you're talking about. Now, okay, I don't think Ari is this divergent from the norm. I think she is in the zone. She is in the divorce crazy zone. He might be in his way as well, in the avoidance side of thing, right? Like when he arrived and he wanted to shake her hand. So the avoidant versus preoccupied people are going to express the divorce crazies in different ways. And I'm saying the divorce crazies because research shows and anecdotes and clinically I'm telling you that I don't know any other term for it. And I say it with all respect that when we go through divorces, it is truly one of the worst times of our lives. And all of our worst and more tendencies will come out during those times. So I think that's just what we're watching. Because when I'm watching the show, I'm often looking for clues as to who these people are and what they might be like behind closed doors, because that's the main thing, right? And so as I'm watching this, I'm thinking, whoa, is this some sort of indicator of who Ari is? But I don't think we can do that during this time in their relationship.
Tired.
Okay, well, guess what? You're a baby.
Look at this, I'm just tired.
Guess what? You're a baby. I mean, at the very least, this says something about Ari. I'm not going to extrapolate and generalize this behavior, but it does point to something in there. You know, there's a lot of toxicity one would exhibit during the divorce crazies. But this is particular. You know, not all divorce crazies are the same. And they do point to something going on there, you know. You're a baby. You're a baby. Because you won't carry me on your back on a hike. And that's why I hate you so much, or not, I mean, I'm putting word. That's why I'm upset with you, is because you don't give me this kind of affection. Affection? Yeah, this is why things aren't going well, because you're not going to be my slave. And that's the other, I mean, the optics, hello?
Not comfortable like
Yeah, but
this,
you chose
just
to carry the biggest stones.
Yeah, I
you
chose
didn't
because
need to
that's
do
big
that.
whisper.
I really feel that you're just using this as an excuse to not be anywhere near me. It just adds insult.
Right. So what I'm calling the divorce crazies, she is in, regardless of what attachment style she does or does not have, she is in a state right now of feeling rejected and feeling neglected. That has been happening throughout their relationship to some extent. And it's a lot more so lately, the fact that he apparently has gotten together with someone else. In typical 90 Day Fiancé fashion, they're stringing that story. You know, they drop that detail and they sort of even strung that out a little bit. And then eventually they show us the pictures of him kissing this other woman. And there's been no explanation. I'm sure if he would provide some kind of side of the story. Now, maybe it's irredeemable, but I'm just going to take a guess and say that from his side of things, because we've seen this before. I remember with Darcy and Tom, if I remember right, that there was this big dust up about Tom cheating with a woman in like Brazil or something. And there were pictures and Darcy's all beside herself, and we're led to believe that Tom is this absolute, you know, horrible human being. But then we learn from Tom, I think later, I forget, you know, I know this is true about some of the cast members that we've seen. We learn later that we had broken up. So what's the problem, you know, or I thought we broke up or something like that. So I'm guessing that it's something that, but who knows? You know, maybe Benny is an absolute horrible human being, or at least did some horrible things. But anyway, so for her, she's in that state and she got real locked in on, I want you, I miss you, I long for you, I want love and affection, and oh look, they're doing backpack, you know, piggyback, and so I want that too. I want that, you know, look at them, they're in love and they're together. And I want that too, and can we do that? And then you just get locked in, and you go kind of nuts. And yet, in the interview, at least later, often these interviews are months in the future, she's still holding on to that. It wouldn't be hard for her to say, like, yeah, I got a little weird about the piggyback thing.
It's an injury, really.
So sorry, I feel like we started something.
You didn't do anything. It's ridiculous.
It's a form of affection. You know, you're
You think that this is nothing?
It's a form of connection, Stacy. How dare he not carry me? How dare he not let me ride him like a horse? How dare he do that to me? I mean, of all the things you could possibly do to somebody. I mean, whew, yeah. I see why Stacy is supporting Ari in this. What?
I'm so sorry. You don't deserve that.
You don't deserve that. Am I missing something? What am I missing? I feel like I'm reminded of other times I'm watching 90 Day Fiancé. Now, shenanigans, who knows? But I don't know. I feel like Ari is raw. I don't think, maybe there's a little shenanigans happening, a little bit of fakery, but I think with Ari, it's very real. And Stacy says, you don't deserve that. Now, maybe Stacy is saying, you don't deserve the overall thing. But there's so many other ways to support people without making those kinds of statements like, I'm sorry, yeah, you're hurting. And you can even make a meta statement of like, I could see how this would be emblematic of the way you feel all the time, which is a distance and a hurt and a rejection. There's so many ways you can support without supporting someone's distortions. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp, and if you sign up, please use the link below because that really helps us out. So it's autumn, back to school, and it's also a time where the days grow darker, which can be tough for some people. But to me, this is also a time for coziness and meeting up with a friend for coffee or something and wearing your best fall jacket. And I don't know why, but the fall also seems like a time for therapy. But as the days grow darker, we might cocoon and avoid reaching out to a friend or to a therapist. But after we do those things, we often will say, why didn't I do this sooner? Well, BetterHelp is one avenue that you can use to reach out to a therapist. And for 12 years, BetterHelp has been fine-tuning their process of matching people with the right therapist. So this month, don't wait to reach out. Whether you're checking in on a friend or reaching out to a therapist yourself, BetterHelp makes it easier to take that first step. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Kirk. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Kirk.
It's been a very hard 5 years because of cheating and lying. So,
And I'm just embarrassed because I chose this person to marry.
That's the problem. Just she forced me. Just if I don't want something, just this is the one likes control.
Yeah, the two main data points from this season is that she is absolutely controlling. I mean, if you reverse the genders, it's not always 1-to-1, but just as a thought experiment. And I hope we don't have to do that in today's world, but sometimes people have to. But anyway, if we just look at the data points, she is absolutely controlling him by not giving his passwords to his email and his Instagram and his Facebook, multiple accounts for a long time, weeks, months, that she has been withholding from him out of absolute spite and control and punishment. And then she wants to literally ride him against his will. And when he says, I'm tired, or there's a rock jabbing me in the back, you're a baby. This is absolutely controlling and abusive behavior. I don't know if he feels abused. I don't know if this is an overall pattern, but I can only comment on what I'm seeing in the edit. And if I had a client tell me this, or if I was Florian and I witnessed this, I would have major concerns. Given all of the seasons I've seen Ari and Benny, I don't have as much concerns because I've seen them during the good years. And although controlling was part of her method of like, you will keep your phone on, you will answer the phone, you will, like that sort of thing, which is something that preoccupied people will resort to. I don't know if she's preoccupied, but she has some of the signs. And absolutely, it will alienate people and hurt them and cause them to pull away. Having said that, when you are avoidant attachment and you tend to not only notice your own needs of affection and relationships, you tend to be cold just at cruising speed, and that will provoke anyone to feel hurt and abandoned, particularly if you're preoccupied. So both were happening at the same time. I remember in the very beginning, when the first seasons, when they first started having these really minor kind of conflicts, I was like, someone needs to help them with this or it's going to spin out of control, because it almost always does, and it seems to have spun out of control.
Give it to me.
I gotta trust you.
Huh?
You want to take this off of me?
Yeah.
You want to take it off of me?
Shh.
You want to take it off of me?
What's take it off? Keep it in the hands and okay,
No,
please.
I don't want it anymore. I don't want it anymore.
So to catch you up, Stacy is sad about the cheating that she's alluding. I mean, she talked about the actual cheating, and Florian is agreeing with it. I think it's the one that we saw in a previous season years ago, I believe. And she is also talking about wanting to feel secure, wanting to feel loved. And the thing I'll say just from my emotional side is that there's something oddly comforting about seeing the Stacy Darcy cry, which is horrible because she's, there's no, I absolutely feel the pain. I mean, I don't know their relationship, but I think Stacy has never been focused on, really. And I think Darcy and Stacy have, I don't know where it came. I've speculated as to where it comes from, but it's some kind of perpetual feeling of neglect and an inner child that was not loved and attuned to. And it manifests in different ways with each of them. That for Darcy, she would, really, I'll say for both of them, they seem to be trying to alter their appearance so that they are more lovable and acceptable to other people in general, and also specifically men that they are wanting to be in a relationship with. Also, they have different ways of manifesting. For Stacy, I think she tends to put herself like on the back burner. Sometimes even to Darcy herself. Darcy tends to seek more overt indications of closeness, and things like marriage proposals and fancy dinners and this kind of thing, which all of us will do to some extent, but she needs it to be true and will exaggerate the sign. The beginning, Darcy would exaggerate the signs of, this is it, this is the one, he's the one. And she would, even in the first couple of dates, I remember with Tom, she would talk about marriage and moving in together and stuff. And when that didn't happen right away, even though if she just checked in with herself, she probably wouldn't want to be married because she doesn't know the guy yet. But because of that, coming from that place of deficit and loneliness and feeling perpetually neglected, one, you are desperate for closeness, obviously, because you've never had it. And two, you are just waiting for neglect to happen. And when there's the tiniest excuse that neglect is happening, when it's not, then it's like, here it is once again. And then all that trauma comes forward. And so I think the way Stacy deals with it is she just sweeps it under the rug. And I think that this exercise, I didn't show it, but in the beginning, they're sitting down, they're starting to talk, and she's starting to kind of review. And I think when she does that verbally, it's one of the only times that she thinks about this sort of thing. And then it all starts coming forward. I'm used to this as a therapist. People will sit on my couch and do that. Even week to week, they'll sit down and say, yeah, everything's fine. And I'll, whatever you want to talk about. And then they just start talking, and then it's like, obviously things aren't fine. And that's okay. It's fine. There's nothing dysfunctional about it, but it can be dysfunctional if you don't give yourself some time in therapy or journaling or self-reflection or something. But I think Stacy was raised in a way that makes it almost impossible for her to do that. And I think she convinces herself that everything is fine, or that she just perseveres. And, because her and Florian, I think behind closed doors, I think they function fine. But I think when Stacy stops and thinks about what's happening, she sees what's happening, and all of those needs come forward, and all of that neglect. And so in a tragic turn, she neglects herself. She puts herself in the back burner. We do that to ourselves. When we are made to feel small, we proceed to make ourselves feel small. It's one of the sick jokes of life, that trauma is the gift that keeps on giving, that we get abused. Not only are we victimized, but then we abuse ourselves moving forward. It's just, it's unfair. And as someone that doesn't come from that history, someone that was raised pretty well, what did I do to deserve this? Nothing. Just roll the dice. And I go to bed happy at night. I mean, what the fuck? It's totally unfair. And it breaks my heart, and I'm going to cry. So I'm with you, Stacy. I'm crying.
Take it from me.
What the hell?
You take it from me.
Stay.
I want to be free. I want to be free.
Yeah, I mean, so Florian, in all of his wonderful listening skills, what the hell is wrong with you? What a great thing to say in therapy on camera. I mean, I get it. She's not making any sense. I don't know what she means. And Florian would feel at least somewhat criticized, if not attacked. But what the hell is wrong with you? I don't know. So yeah, I would take a guess, and unless this is faked, which I don't think it is, but it could be, or at least partially, I would conceptualize this as her having put herself in the back burner and having been put on the back burner. And when it comes time to act, with an exercise in a therapy-esque sort of environment, she just scratches the surface, and there's all of these feelings and needs and realizations, and it just comes bursting out, and it isn't very concise or articulate.
I want to be free.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I'm releasing. I'm releasing. Let me just release.
Stace.
That's interesting. Yeah, we've seen that before with Stacy. I remember when they were in Turkey having some procedures done, and they went to a bathhouse, and they were releasing. They were detoxifying or something. And the way she's talking, she's like, just let me release. I'm not being extremely rational. This is what I do. This is my process. And, maybe it is helpful. It can be, just expressing or being temporarily id-ified, if you will. And, okay, but it also makes me wonder if this is one of her only ways of coping that she has learned or has developed, that in lieu of actually being heard and understood and loved and attuned to and paid attention to and seen, she instead periodically just releases and is able to survive day to day, but ultimately doesn't address the problem.
Hey.
I want us to release together.
Relax.
Okay.
Okay, stop it.
Now, it's fine if Florian doesn't want to release with her. He could just say that, like, hey, release what you want to release. It's not really my style, though, but I'm with you. I'm here. I mean, or just be quiet. At best, because as I role play, I'm like, Florian wouldn't say anything like that. I mean, maybe he would, but we've never seen him say anything close to that. When in doubt, just don't say anything, Florian. And we can use this as a jumping off point. So when your partner is suffering, it is almost universal that we will try to control it by telling them to calm down or say something, especially when they're upset about us. You're overreacting. Stop it. Don't look at it that way. That's not what's happening. There's so many different methods that everyone, including therapists, yourselves, yours truly, will engage in as a extremely ham-fisted shortcut to helping another person, which never works and in fact harms. And so just give that some thought for yourself of the next time, and for yourself, that when you are going through something, that you deserve for someone to not tell you to calm down, to not tell you you're overreacting or something. Now, case by case basis, there are obviously cases where one might be quote unquote overreacting, but if you're expressing, all she's doing is she's crying. There's no harm in that. He's not even really being criticized. I think it's implied, right? And he could feel guilty, or he could feel criticized, or whatever, but in those moments, it is best for everyone, including yourself, if you can differentiate, take a breath, and listen, or just don't do anything. You can have your thoughts like, what is going on, or I don't understand, or she's overreacting, but just sit there. If you're married to someone or in a long-term, here's another little tip, is that if you're in a long-term relationship, you literally have potentially for eternity, especially if you believe in an afterlife, to tell someone any particular point you want to tell them. Is now the time that you want to tell them? Do they have to be told right now? So just ask yourself, okay, I want to tell them that maybe they're overreacting. Is now the time? Often, if you just have that little stopgap, 10 minutes later, you revisit it and think, well, maybe I shouldn't say that ever. But there's, for some people, this compulsion to be like, I need to tell them right now. And it's like, do you have to right now?
I need a hug.
I can give you a hug 10 times.
Okay, so she knew to ask. She probably trusted that he would be able to do that. And that was very functional for her. He, very quickly, 10 times, So this might literally be the first affectionate moment I've seen that what I'll say about Florian, and I've said this in previous seasons, there's a good chance that on camera he's just shy. And that behind closed doors, I can't imagine him being that different, but different, So we might be seeing a little bit of that. So this is good. All right, let's adjourn there. Everyone out there, please, I want to remind you to seriously check in with yourself, take care of yourself, because you deserve it. You really, really do.